Breaking this hour. Amid the escalating war between Russia and Ukraine, US has brokered a peace deal. Let's first dive into the details of the peace deal brokered by United States. The US draft peace framework, reported by multiple sources, outlines a 10-year agreement establishing conditions for an armistice between Ukraine and Russia, with security assurances modeled on NATO's Article 5. The framework says NATO members would act in concert with the US if Russia carried out a significant or sustained attack across the armistice line, treating such an act as a threat to transatlantic peace. The 28-point draft includes reconfirming Ukraine's sovereignty, a comprehensive non-aggression pact, and strict limits on Ukraine's future military size. It would bar Ukraine from joining NATO, cap its armed forces at 6 lakh, and position European fighter jets in Poland. Ukraine would also receive security guarantees, access to EU markets, and a major reconstruction package funded partly through frozen Russian assets, while Russia would gradually be reintegrated into the global economy. Territorial arrangements would also reflect current realities on the ground, with Crimea, Luhansk, and Donetsk recognized de facto as Russian and Kherson and Zaporizhia frozen along the contact line. A demilitarized buffer zone would be established in part of Donetsk. Both sides would renounce altering borders by force, while humanitarian exchanges, nuclear safeguards, and education reforms are built into the pact. Elections in Ukraine would be held in 100 days. All sides would receive wartime amnesty, and a board of peace, chaired by Donald J. Trump, would oversee the compliance. A ceasefire would also take effect once both sides withdraw to designated positions. Post the reveal of the details, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has come out saying Ukraine is working to ensure its national interests are fully reflected in ongoing peace plan discussions. He warned that the coming days will bring significant political pressure and that the next week is expected to be particularly difficult for the country. Zelensky further urged the parliament and government to act together in a coordinated effort, stressing the importance of unity as negotiations intensify. He has also reassured the public that he will not compromise Ukraine's core interests as talks advance. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has stated that Ukraine must have the final say on its future, responding to US push for a peace deal in the ongoing war. Speaking in South Africa, Starmer emphasized that Ukraine should determine all matters related to its conflict with Russia. Meanwhile, the US has threatened to cut intelligence sharing and weapons supplies if Ukraine does not agree to the terms of a US-brokered 28-point peace plan. This proposal, which includes key Russian demands like ceding territory and limiting Ukraine's military, has put Kiev under significant pressure to sign a framework by next Thursday. Listen in.
Well, it reinforced in me that basic principle that we have to work from where we are to the just and lasting peace. I know that's what President Trump wants, and he's been working to that end. But we must reiterate the principle that matters about Ukraine must be determined by Ukraine.
The leaders of France, Germany, and the United Kingdom say that any resolution to the war in Ukraine must fully involve Kiev and be backed by united European and NATO position. In a call with President Volodymyr Zelensky, Emmanuel Macron, Friedrich Merz, and Keir Starmer emphasized that Ukraine must participate directly in shaping any agreement as the United States continues promoting a peace plan that would require major concessions from Kiev. The three leaders also stated that all decisions affecting Europe's or NATO's security must have the consensus of European partners and NATO allies. Meanwhile, European Union leaders have confirmed that they have not officially received the 28-point US peace proposal aimed at ending the war in Ukraine. European Council President Antonio Costa said that no formal communication has been made regarding the plan. Meanwhile, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen stated they will discuss the situation with both European and G20 leaders during the upcoming summit in South Africa. Von der Leyen also plans to reach out to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to discuss the proposal directly. Listen in.
Union has not been communicated any plans in official matter. That it makes no sense for me, for us, to comment at this point.
We will continue to support Ukraine, as we've done before. Ukraine can count on us because this is not only an aggression against Ukraine, but it is an aggression against the principles of the UN Charter. It's on European soil, and therefore we will support Ukraine for as long as it takes.
Meanwhile, in Kiev, residents are expressing skepticism over US proposed peace plan aimed at ending the war with Russia. The plan, which would allow Moscow to retain occupied territories and gain additional land currently held by Ukraine, has raised concerns among many in the capital. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has acknowledged the proposal, stating that Ukraine is working on it. However, he emphasized that any potential agreement must guarantee a dignified peace for Ukraine, reflecting the delicate balance Kiev seeks between ending the conflict and maintaining its sovereignty. Let's in fact listen in to what the Ukrainian president had to say.
Ця програма має хоч якимось чином враховувати інтереси України. І тому що якщо брати в тому вигляді, в якому вона є, то це дійсно якби такий майже напрямок капітуляції. Хоча в будь-якому випадку Україні треба йти до миру, треба припиняти війну в будь-якому випадку.
Я думаю, моя думка такая, что там Трамп и Путин, они уже договорились. Это же Трамп, как говорится, друзья. Он же сам сказал, что мой лучший друг это Путин. Понятно, что для Украины ничего доброго не светит. А нам просто надо воевать, бороться, больше ничего такого.
Відбувається, мені здається, це тому, що Трампу там не сидиться на місці. І насправді йому для свого народу треба тримати марку, треба тримати вигляд. Він пообіцяв, що він закінчить війну, і він дуже старається це зробити. І якими шляхами він це зробить, йому, в принципі, все одно. Головне, щоб це відбулося якнайшвидше.
Now shifting our focus to Middle East, Palestinians in the West